Does your sensitivity affect you every step of the way? Does it feel overwhelming, especially when you're around people who don't understand it? Or are you dependent on others financially or for validation? You may be suffering from a case of co-dependency. In today's video, I'm going to talk to you about a little bit about the astrology of Aquarius. Then I'm going to talk about the theme of Gate 19, the shadow energy of Gate 19, its connection with its harmonic gate, the 49, and the center that the Gate 19 is found in, which is in the root center, also equivalent to the root chakra in the Hindu chakra system. Then at the very end, I'm going to give you some tips that you can implement right away that you can use for your root chakra if you feel that it is out of balance. Does this float your boat? If so, then keep watching. When I look at human design, I like to look at it from a lens of not just looking at human design itself and looking at the gates and the meanings and the transits and the channels and the centers and circuitry, but I also like to incorporate in the Hindu chakra system. I also like to look at the actual astrology of the gates. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about the astrology of this gate 19 called Wanting, and this gate is located in the sign of Aquarius. In astrology, the sun in Aquarius is in its detriment. Now, what does this mean? So in astrology, any planet that is in detriment means that it's in a sign that it is opposite from the one that it rules, and it doesn't like being there. It's not comfortable. So on the zodiacal wheel, Aquarius is sitting across from Leo, and Leo is the sign, is the ruler of the zodiac, as they say, and the ruling planet of Leo is the sun. Aquarians are freedom loving, they're independent, they're like a little bit of rebels, they have the scientific mind to them. Aquarians like to think of the bigger cause of how it can help other people. So they're not so much concerned with their own ideas or ideation. They really want to spread their ideas to the group, to the community, because they feel it's going to be something that's going to help the whole. Astrologer Margaret E. Hone says of Aquarians, they can sometimes fixate on their ideas and struggle to adapt to alternative perspectives. Aquarius rules the 11th house, and Aquarius is about communities and health clubs and memberships. It's also about friendship. When I study human design, I also break it down a little bit further with the astrology, and I look at the decan rulers. Are you new to human design? No worries. I created a free guide just for you. It's over 25 pages, and it's going to be great for you because it's going to give you just some simple basics about the centers, for example, of what human design is about. So make sure you grab it. I'll leave the link down below in the description. So Gate 19 in the Rave I Ching, written by Ra Uru Hu, sits in between the first and second decans of Aquarius. And the tarot cards associated with these decans is the 5 of Swords and the 6 of Swords. Now to break it down a little further, because this is how my mind works, I also look at the sub-rulers of the decans. So in the first decan is the 5 of Swords. This is ruled by Venus, and the 6 of Swords is ruled by Mercury. And the 7 of Swords is ruled by the moon. So I'm not going to talk about the 7 of Swords today because Gate 19, as I mentioned, sits in the first and the second decans of Aquarius. Venus is the planet of love and feeling good and come over here and let's love each other and beauty. So she doesn't really like this decan of Aquarius. And I mentioned this is the 5 of Swords. If you look at the 5 of Swords, you'll see there's 3 people in this card, and there's that community aspect because it's Aquarius. There's 1 person in the foreground and 2 people in the background. So something's going on here because we see some swords in the picture of the card, and some are on the ground. We see water behind the ones, the people standing in the back, and the person in the front doesn't look too happy. Like something is going on here. Some kind of conflict, some kind of situation. This conflict or situation may lead someone to realize that they have to accept their limitations, like their inner law of whatever that may be. In tarot, it's really important to look at the suits and what cards are preceding each other. So we have the 5 of Swords, and now we move into the 6 of Swords, and the 6 of Swords represents a calmness, a moving away of whatever happened in the Five of Swords. In their book, Mythic Tarot, Liz Green and Juliet Sharman Burke say of the Six of Swords, and I'm quoting them here, insight and understanding mean everything. Here, for the serenity and smooth passage of the Six of Swords depend on one seeing and comprehending the way in which the pattern of one's life works. I thought this was a really interesting quote because we often don't really have a lot of awareness of what we're doing and why we're doing things. And it brings me back to the 19th gate, because this is the gate of wanting, and it could be defined permanently in your chart, whether it's a red definition or it's a black definition. It could be checkered. Now, getting back to that quote that I had mentioned to you about the Six of Swords, it got me thinking, wow, this sounds like a lot like some kind of codependency going on here. And it's funny because that's what the shadow is called of the 19th gene key. It's called codependency. But before I get into the shadow, let's step back a bit and take a look at what the theme of the gate 19 is all about. Richard Rudd, who is an expert on human design, he wrote several books on the subject. He also worked very closely with the creator or the person who had the download from human design, Ra Uru Hu. He says of the 19 that these are people whose emotional and material success depends on the interaction of others. 819 sits in the root center. And so all of the gates in the root center are associated with a particular type of pressure. The pressure associated with 19 here is the pressure to get one's material needs met. They have to ensure that there's enough food in the fridge. They have to make sure there's some kind of intimacy going on with somebody. This pressure to get one's needs met, this conjured up an image of a pyramid in my head. So we have here the pyramid, okay? And I'm not going to get into all the steps of this pyramid, but the theory here is that Maslow, who was a psychologist, he believed that there was 5 certain needs that people, humans, mankind, whatever you want to call it, need in order to feel safe and secure. And the first need being a psychological need. So this is at the bottom of the pyramid. There's 5 levels, as I mentioned, and the top level is self-actualization. So I'm not going to get into all the discussion about here, but here with the first level being psychological needs is where we find water, food, shelter, intimacy, reproduction. And I got to thinking, okay, where does the 19 sit on this pyramid? So the 19 is sitting, I feel, here at the bottom, right? Because I had just mentioned that the 19's needs are material needs, right? And also needs to have food in the fridge, has to feel accepted and belonging in a group as well. And then how does it get its needs met? It's getting the needs met through the 49, which is its harmonic gate. What is it doing, the 19? It's flirting. It's flirting with the other side, the 49. When I also do my studying and my research, I like to pull out my dictionary. I have a dictionary with me all the time. It's actually to my phone. But I'll pull out and look up words if I'm not too sure about the meaning of them, or sometimes even if I think I know the meaning of the word, I'll still bring up my dictionary, because sometimes the meaning of a word isn't exactly the way that you think it may be. I looked up the meaning of the word wanting, because that is the name of the gate 19. Wanting is defined as having a desire to possess or do something. So this is a verb, right? This is an action. What is the 19 doing? It's flirting with the 49 in order to get its needs met. If gate 19 is connected to the 49, it forms a channel definition. And this channel is called the channel of synthesis, with a design of sensitivity. We find the 49 in the solar plexus. This is an emotional wave going on here because of the connection to the solar plexus. Ra said of the 1949 channel, the emotional acceptance or rejection frequency of channel 1949 is the glue that determines who belongs and is deserving of the support of the tribe, who gets to come to the table and who doesn't. There is nothing logical, democratic, or abstract, experiential in this frequency, and it cannot simply be superimposed on the tribe, as forcing it won't work. The shadow of codependency is undergoing a great mutation. It has its roots deeply embedded in our ancestral troubled past. Richard Rudd says of this shadow, codependence refers to the state of consciousness below independence. To be independent means to rely only upon yourself, whereas to be codependent means to rely on outside agencies. So again, I draw your attention back to the picture of the Five of Swords. You know, what is going on? Are you the person in the front of that group? Are you doing things consciously, maybe unconsciously, to get your needs met? Do you flirt with other people to get that fridge full? Do you flirt with other people because you see that they could be a potential mate? Maybe not so much because you really think they're the greatest person on earth, but because you can see that if you get together with this person, maybe even marry this other person, they're going to be able to take care of you materially. I don't want to leave you with just the shadow of the 19, because there is a gift in the 19, as there are with all of the gene keys and of all of the human design gates. The gift of the 19 is called sensitivity. If you have gate 19 definition in your chart, this means that you're highly attuned to the needs of other people. But in order to have this awareness, you have to be independent from them. You have a gift of touch, meaning not so much a physical touch, but you just have a touch, a way with people. You're very highly connected to animals and to nature. Richard Rudd says that people with this gate 19 definition are often shamans or healers. Now let's take a look at the root center. So the root center is ruled by Saturn. Aquarius has two co-rulers of planets, Saturn and Uranus. So today I'm just going to talk about Saturn. The root chakra sits at the base of the spine, and it's also the foundation for the other chakras that are sitting on top of it. Without a firm root chakra foundation, we're going to have some issues. We'll have difficulty manifesting what we want in our lives. We may question our right to be here. We may have poor boundaries. Our bodies represent the physical manifestation of who we are and require boundaries in order to feel safe. So again, I call in the energy of the gate 19, that codependency. If you have it defined, or if there's a transit going through and defining that gate, because when a transit takes place, everybody on the planet will have that definition of that gate for that particular point in time. Where can you be codependent on other people to get your material needs met? This is something I'm bringing to your attention and to your awareness, to kind of sit down and look at that. And what are the patterns that it's creating in you? What's the behavior that's creating in you? Is it behavior that you are proud of, or maybe you just don't care because you just want to make sure that you survive? Again, our genes, as Rob would say, our human design genes, or the genes of our mankind, we just want to survive. All our bodies, all our genes want to do is to make sure that we survive and that the human race continues to survive. So I kind of thought about this as well, and I thought this is also like another underlying theme that's taking place with codependency, because if our mandate is to survive on this plane, this material plane, then of course we're going to do everything that we can do to survive, right? Even if that means that we might have to just do something that maybe we don't want to really do in order to fit in, to feel accepted, to make sure that we are getting those needs met. When we have a solid foundation, we can face any limitation from a position of strength. Limitation is a part of life and part of manifesting what we want in our life. Recognition of limitations or obstacles becomes clearer with a balanced root chakra. Here are a few tips if you feel that perhaps your root chakra might be out of balance. So first thing you could do immediately after watching this video is draw yourself a warm bath. You can add a few drops of essential lavender oil with some Epsom salts to the water, and they both work together to help bring out toxins. Second tip for you is you could start journaling on your inner child. Okay, shadow work. Now, I've been doing shadow work for several years now. I honestly believe it's something that can be done throughout your lifetime. And yes, it can be scary. It can be a scary journey to embark on. But In the shadows, there's light, there's gold, there's treasure. And so if you have a root chakra that you feel maybe blocked, one of the best things that you could do is start going on that journey of self-discovery and to get to understand who you are. Where do your beliefs really come from, right? Because the root chakra also represents our ancestry, our past. So what are these traits or beliefs that have been handed down to you from your parents, from your grandparents? And are they something that really serve your purpose anymore? Last tip you can do is start a mindfulness meditation practice. Now for me, I meditate regularly. I like to meditate in the evening, but again, there's no time or day that's right or wrong, as long as you just do it. And you sit and you close your eyes and take deep breaths in and out through your nose. And when you start breathing in and out through your nose, it really helps to calm your nervous system. And it's a great way to help to rebalance your chakra. If you also have chronic pain, a mindfulness meditation practice can also help with those pain levels. Did you like this video? If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Thanks again for tuning in and for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.